Okay, okay. Kitty! Why is there a tree growing through my base? Why is there a tree growing through my base? There's a player survey going on right now that I'm going to be taking. Go. There are reasons why they're asking questions now. You guys can't see it. Anybody who's watching, you're unable to view the surveys because it pops up in a different window and doesn't show it on Streamlabs. Either way, there are reasons why there are games whose seasons do work and then games whose seasons don't work. Part of the argument for this game is the way they have it set up right now, okay? And it just seems as though this is what's going to happen, is that your character's development within the game, all of its development, aside from your cosmetics, the weapons, blueprints, and stuff like that you have, they're all going to be taken away. Effectively, what's going to happen is you're going to go back to level 1. You're going to have to rebuild all your stuff again. That's why they offer the blueprint system, though, to make it a little bit easier. So you don't have to be rebuilding from memory all the time and scratch. But what's happening is you're going to go back to level 1. You're going to have to go through all this stuff again. And if it's the same quests and the same content, you know how stale that's going to be? I mean, it was... I can tell you, in beta, we all made it to... And I played all the betas, by the way. Even CBT 1, which was atrocious. Horrible beta. But CBT 2 was okay. Deviants were weird, and there was a lot of issues with how to make deviants happy and then utilize deviants properly. 3, they came out with a way easier system for deviants. But every time I came back to the game on the betas, although excited to play the game, I was upset that I was doing the same exact content, the same exact areas, and the same exact stuff all the time. This map is huge. Having content, running across mobs, farming certain things in certain areas would be great. The amount of RNG in the game makes farming for specific mats very difficult, because if things are dropping through RNG, there is no real set place to go and do anything. Now, as far as the gold spawns and the silver spawns are concerned, I don't have a problem with that, because if you have a set area, like WoW has certain areas within it that have gold and whatever special materials that you need, and they get over-farmed, oversaturated, where other players can't get in there and do anything because there's too many, players who know the routes and all those, the fastest routes to get all the best items before anybody else can get it. If you're making those objects open for anybody, like if somebody comes and farms Starcrom, it's not your node. You understand what I'm saying? It's their node, and then your node's still there, so you still have access to be able to farm that Starcrom also, right? And then it disappears for you. They can do that because they do that with RNG on other stuff within the game, where you farm it and it's not there no longer, but it is still there for another person. Like chests, like the chests that you have to get for rewards. They can set nodes up the exact same way. They disappear when you farm them, but stay there until you farm them. They don't disappear because somebody else farms them, right? That's fine. That ensures that everybody on the server has a fair chance for every item in the game and all the resources needed to craft those items. RNG special drops, things like weapons and stuff like that are rare, and they just make it rare like they do in WoW. Some people can get them, some people can't. Oh well. Don't give people options to get it through another way. Force them to have to grind that content out to get that item if they want it, right? And then you solve the problem of people just sitting at their base because they have nothing else to do. If the drop is rare, you're forcing them to go and do the content, because if they want that weapon, they have to do the content. They can do other content if they want to, but they can farm that out. And then you wind up getting your drop eventually, and you're happy and you're satisfied. Don't take our weapons and armor and everything else away. Don't drop us back to level 1. Increase the level cap. Put in a new area, right? Add more questing within this area that you've already provided. Put in more areas to go and explore. Put in dungeons besides just simple silos, okay? Because I know they're dungeons, but it's a 4-man dungeon. It's not, and people were just farming them for mods. They get their mod and then they stop. I don't know how to make the game any better than what it is context-wise, because context-wise, the game is good. There's nothing wrong with the game. But why is my settings? Am I carrying over my settings? Is that the problem? I think I'm carrying over settings from motion blur disabled, vegetation done. Why is motion blur on low? Why did my max frame rate get reduced again? See, they change stuff within the game, and then we get stuck having to go back through and redo the shit that they've messed up. Fuck, I got restrictions. See, because I'm getting glitches like that now. Because it is douchebag's base. I should just report this base. There's nothing in it. I'm going to wait till that goof talks. There's trash fucking base right in front of me. I'm not moving. Because I was here first. And I'm selfish like that. I'm one of those people. They can't take away levels. They can't have us... if they're going to take away our level, then you have to open up a new area with all new questing, with all new everything. It can't be repeatable. It can't be repeatable. If the questing is repeatable, then you're destroying... Your game's only good for 6 weeks then at that point. That's it. That's literally the lifespan of your game. It's not worth coming back and redoing it all over again. Right? Because at some point, you're going to farm everything you need to. You're going to get every decor you need to. You're going to get everything you need. And then the only thing that you're going to be doing within those 6 weeks when you come back is rebuilding your base, right, from a blueprint, and leveling your character through the exact same content with no new items, no new drops, no new nothing, right? So you are killing your fucking game. Like, that is it. You cannot base your entire game off of the beta. I don't mind having seasons, but I can't start from level 1. We can't lose everything. We can't lose all our progress. Seasons are supposed to introduce new things, new bosses, new areas, new maps, new stuff that you can do within even the old maps, right? Remembering all the quests that you've done and not giving you the same exact quests again. Populate with new quests, right? This season ends. If you're going to kick us back to level 1 again, do not have players who have already done all those quests have to repeat those quests. Those quests are fetch quests, what we call fetch quests, right? Go and do this, come back, bam, 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 turn in your quests. They get old because they're so far spread out. They do. They get old. People don't even... There's a lot of people in this game who haven't even done all the side quests and refuse to do the side quests because they're too spread out. They rush to the end game content, and now they don't want to go back. I've done that on this character, and I'm going back and I'm redoing my older quests in areas that I didn't open up because I rushed this character up to 50. My other one, I didn't do that too. But we're going to have nothing but a problem if you have only 6 weeks worth of content and then you wipe everything and the server starts fresh again. It's as if we're just playing a fucking beta over and over again. And that's it. It's literally what it is. Open up new areas of the map that have new types of buildings, right? Areas... I mean, This should be an MMO. This should be an MMO FPS RPG. That's what it should be. You've taken two genres that I love, looter shooters and the MMO world, and you combine them together. Well, make it an RPG. Make it an actual RPG. That level progression isn't taken away, that you increase levels, but you also have so much armor and weapons in the game, like WoW does, right, that people want to hunt for specific stuff. And you're giving people other content to do. You know, create dungeons, world dungeons, where all the players, you call them Prime Wars, but the Prime Wars are so laggy, and you lock people out of them now based on a point system. Well, I didn't even attempt to do any more easy primes to get my score up, because I was doing primes since I was level 30 in order to get enough points to go to the next level, right? 1,000 points, whatever it is. But the guys who were already level 50 block you out of advancement. They do. They lock you out. And then at some point, you know, during the day, there's no scheduled part of this at all. Nobody's scheduling these Prime Wars. This isn't like before. Anybody should be able to compete in a Prime War if they get to the area. Anybody. There shouldn't be a lockdown on requirements. What you do, you want to stop the fucking AFKing, which is exactly what you guys said you instituted this point system for, so that people won't AFK. You want to stop the AFK, limit the amount of fucking time they can stand there and not move or do nothing. If they're not doing damage and they're not and they're just standing there, kick them from the fucking event. That's what you do. That's how you handle that. You don't lock behind a point system where people just say, fuck it, I'm not doing it anymore, because that's exactly what I did. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not even interested in doing the primes. And on top of that, what you're doing now is creating an incentive for people. It's a pay-to-win incentive, basically, because now the higher levels that were higher than me, because they rush to end-game content, which I don't like doing, because I want to enjoy the content that you made so that I have shit to do, right? They get there. They can do more damage than me. They all get in. I'm stuck with now all the low levels that didn't do it coming over trying to help, and nobody getting the points that we need in order to do it. There's several of us who are on this server, been on the server since day one, who don't compete in the hard primes because we don't have enough points to do it. The only reason why I don't have enough points, if I find an easy prime, I could go over there and get my points easy, right? Because I'm level 50 now. But the only reason I don't do it is because you did that shit to me when I was in my 30s, and I could never get enough points in order to advance, while the guys who I was helping them get their fucking points by completing the prime, they get to advance, and I get stuck. I get nothing for my effort. Nothing. I get locked out of the next content. And on top of that, you lock it into a bubble. So if I have a quest that has to go before, we used to be able to ride right through the bubbles, regardless, right? Now, if I got to ride through that, I can't go through that bubble because the bubble is for the people who advance to hard. Yet you have it fucking on the roads that we need to ride to go to quests normally. So now every time I try to go that route, I get kicked out of it, even though there's not even a prime war going on. Nothing going on in that zone. I get kicked out of the zone. That prime zone. That is a fucking dumb fucking mechanic in this game. Stupid, idiotic, that we can't use the roads that you built within the game for us to get to quests that our quests are telling us to travel on, and then we get kicked out of it. We can't go through that area. We have to find an alternate route around it. And these areas are huge. You are literally taking us out of fucking content. You are fucking taking us out of content. I'm mad about it because I love the game, but you just fucked that up. And excuse my language, I don't care about my language. I really don't. You messed that up so bad that now people can't participate in content, normal content, because of what you've done. Now I've done all my quests because I went all the way around to get to another area. And then you time gate areas and you lock people out of other areas. So what happens then is you may have to take a route that goes through that area that you locked out on us, so we get a warning. Don't go no further. Turn back now. Don't go no further. Turn, that little fucking annoying voice that tells me that. You are stifling our gameplay with all this bullshit. You literally are. That is why you are getting fucking mixed reviews in Steam and bad reviews in Steam. Because you are stifling content. You are literally stopping progression for players. We don't play like Asians do. Stop trying to make a fucking Asian game for North America, because it doesn't work. Or Europeans. It doesn't work. We play games differently. We like leveling. We like going through and doing certain things that other people want to pay for. We don't care about that shit. We want content in the game. And if you're locking us out of content or stifling progression because we have to find a workaround to your bullshit that you created, the Prime Wars is an ignorant way of doing that. It is a dungeon. It is a world dungeon, basically, is what you're doing. A world boss, excuse me. Why are you locking people out of the world boss? Why are you using a point system to do that? What if everybody else gets in there and a new player joins the server and no one wants to do easy primes anymore? That player can't get one of the main currencies in the freaking game now because you locked them out of it. He can't progress and get better weapons any other way but through all the StarCom that you offer through the regular stuff. But he can't compete the primes, one of the journeys that you got to do, or one of the seasonal rewards for a hard prime. Now he can't do a hard prime. I'm not participating in it. I'm not going to play your game. I'm not. Until you change that shit, I fucking refuse to participate in any of the primes. Refuse. Dumb. Even if you're going to do a point system, don't lock the fucking area so I can't drive through it. And now I'm fucked. I'm screwed. You're trying to force me to do a prime when there's not enough people doing them on my server for me to advance? So what, I got to go solo a prime? You tell me how that's going to work out. You limit our builds so that we have to RNG a build. Like, why can't we just pick which specs we want? Why does it have to be RNG? I had specs in CBT3 that I don't have in this one, and I know they're available. And those are the specs that I wanted. I don't want this half of the shit I got now, but you forced me to pick crap ass rolls. Why the fuck did you RNG specialties? Which one of you brain dead devs thought it was okay to fucking RNG specialties? Let us pick our builds. What is the problem with that? You force me to give access to someone to my base who, in all likelihood, I guarantee it's already happened several times. Someone says, hey, can you put down this in my base for me since you got the spec for it, right? And I don't, even though I wanted it, but it's not coming up on my rolls. So can you do it? Because they have it. And they're like, yeah, sure. You got to give me access to your base. You got to give me access to your storage so I can build it and put it down. I will do that for anybody and only build what they want me to build and then tell them immediately to remove my permissions. But there are other people in the game that then go and loot your boxes and steal your shit. They've done it. All because that person who just got all their shit stolen or their base demolished, like, because you can effectively then start demolishing the guy's base, destroying things in the guy's base if you don't like him. He might not know you don't like him, and you come over and you just start destroying all his shit. You can do that when they give you all the base privileges. Either way, that's literally a bad system right there. But the only reason why that system is even in place is because you're supposed to have your friends and all be able to use your stuff, right? To progress or to add to the builds or whatever. That's fine. But not everybody in the game is your friend. And if you have 4,000 people on a server, you know, I don't know anybody on the server. I don't play with anybody on the server consistently. Excuse me. So I got 3,999 fucking people that could possibly steal my items if I just want a furnace with three of the specs on it that you can get. RNG though. That if you let me build my own fucking character with the specialties, then I could build my character the way I want to in order to progress in his story. At least if you gave me the option to pick my own specs, I would, if you want to wipe the server, I could progress a lot quicker then. Because I would be able to pick my own specs and not hope for the RNG gods to grant me access to the spec that I need. You have a memetics tree. Make a skill tree with all the specs on there that you can go down. Give us enough points to have all the specs. But make it so that you got to earn these points, and when you get these points, these memetics, it takes time. So maybe you have to farm more mobs. Maybe you have to go and farm an area more. You know, these people are going into an area. I'm telling you right now, we go into an area. This is what happens in this game. You go into an area, you farm out the area, you get the mystical crate at the end. You do all this stuff, you get all your checks for that area, and then you almost never go back to that fucking area ever again. Ever. There is no reason for re-exploration in that area because there's no guarantee that you're going to get anything. Right? You RNG it, so the possibility of, if you're into the core getting decorations for your base, yeah, go back through all the areas and redo it because that shit drops RNG. That's what they said. But for anybody else who's not interested in building anything and putting anything, like this fucking base over here has nothing in it. Nothing. My base, fully furnished. That base over there, almost all furnished, except for one room, or one section of one room. Almost all furnished, got shit in it. Something in all the rooms. This, a big box with nothing in it. That's a bad idea, right? The freedom to build. The freedom to build what? Shit? I moved to this area because I like to view and be able to, I bought the pack so I could see out my building. When I come over this side, this is what the fuck I see, that. But there's no reason for this guy to go get the core. There's no reason for him to go get anything to fill his base in, except for what you have him do, which is pumps or the stove, a refrigerator, the benches that we use for crafting, our furnaces, right? That's it. That's all you need. You don't need all the decorations or anything else for your base at all. There's no requirement for it, right? Which is fine. But then don't let people build big-ass boxes like this that look like shit and just sit there. Give them something to do, which is be able to go to an area and farm it out for the decor. Just stop making it RNG and make it a rare item or a drop rate for it, right? Make the drop rate low. Okay? But not a random generated item. Not randomly generated. Leave it in the same area so people know where to go farm. I know of nobody who got the shelves yet for their building. We used to have shelves that we could put these boxes on. Give us back something that we can place the boxes on, or give us a storage cabinet that we don't have to use these boxes that clutter up everything, and we can build a little bit more effectively and efficiently. Right? Yeah, we could stack the boxes on top of each other, but it looks like shit. And then just accessing the box is harder because you have to move slightly this way or that way to access the box. Come on. I mean, real simple shit. You got a game here. The game is here, man. I love the game. There's so much to do within the game. The problem is 3/4 of the population on the server are not doing that. They're not going out exploring. They're not going around and looking at all the buildings to see if they can get the core for their base because they're not required to. They don't have to. They don't have to. So there's no reason to go look in that area. Here's another suggestion. Make the blueprints to get these special weapons that we now have to buy with Starcrom instead. Not Starcrom. Make it so we can get blueprints of the weapons. I haven't got no blueprints of the weapons. The only things that I'm getting are a set amount, and then you can't get any more because once you loot the mystical crate, that's the end of it. I'm not getting it from anywhere else. You get random gun drops, but we can't repair the guns, and once they're out, they're done. So why do we even want a fucking different gun? Maybe in the beginning of the game to see which gun we like, but once we have an established weapon, like right now, I'm Shrapnel on this character, and I'm Power Surge on my other character. Both of those are the best. Fire, completely useless. Even the Vortex, the ice shit, is not as good as it used to be. You nerf so much shit in the game, it's unreal. I mean, you made it so that people don't even want to use it. The explosive, what is it? Explosive. Anyway. The one where you shoot your gun and it explodes. That's pointless. That's shit. I tried it. It sucks. Shrapnel is way better than that. Fucking Power Surge is better than that. Right? I see people using it, but it's not as strong as it should be. There's a lot you did to get the game out. I like the game because, I love the building aspect of the game. Not going to lie. Really appreciated the building aspect of the game. You still didn't make it great. Still can't lock a chest on top of another chest, right? Still can't lock stuff to the center of the room. We have to move it slightly. I mean, look at our refrigerators. We can't even... The collision detection on some of these items is so bad. Like, I could put the box right up against the window, but I can't put the refrigerators up against the wall. There has to be space because your collision detection for this is shit. It sucks. It sucks. Make the collision detection for these things surround the fucking entity that it is. Not give it 3 feet of detection outside of it so that you can't place anything near it. That's what we have a problem with. This can go all the way back, but the refrigerators can't. This can go all the way back, but the refrigerators can't. This can go somewhat back, but it doesn't go all the way back because you have a collision detection around the fucking barrels too. Have it so we can lock them side by side. So something like this, right? I had to do this by hand. But we should have a locking system that locks one box to another box, or a flip of a button will lock it on top of the other box so that it's even and precise and we don't have to mess around with it. Have it locked to the wall, right? Have it locked to the wall that it is so it sits perfectly up against the wall where it's supposed to be. You know, give us a system like Rust does that makes it easier. Rust has things that can lock to each other. Like we need something like that. We do. We need to be able to move the objects and know exactly when they're clipping into the wall, when they're not clipping into the wall, when they're doing this. I mean, there's got to be a better system than that with the storage. There has to be a better system for the storage of being able to place these easier. Or our machines, or, you know, anything. I mean, it's something. Come on. This shit is crazy. I mean, I go nuts trying to do stuff in the game sometimes because I have to move slightly like this, little by little, in order to place something that I want to. I don't get it. I don't get it. You make things more difficult than what they need to be. That's my bitch. That's my only gripe with the game, is that you keep stifling our character progression and growth because of these things. You know, you say, I'm not going to charge anything for no pay-to-win mechanics in the game. And that's great, right? So I went out and bought all these skins. I bought the packs, man. I bought several different packs. And I bought, like 4 skins. And I bought skins for my weapons. And, You don't even give me skins for my fucking motorcycle. You put that behind an event that I don't even do, right? So there's no other way for me to earn that currency to be able to get the skin from the Jellyhead lady unless I compete in that event. And I get you're trying to make people compete in it, but people don't. Because what happens is you'll get a level... I mean, they talked about it. You'll get a level 15 event, but you got a level 17 who wants to earn currency. So he goes to the event, and that level 50 just dominates that level 17, the entire event, because it's a PvP event, right? And he just dominates that level 17. So the level 17 can't earn any of their currency because he can't kill the level 50. And so the level 50 gets to keep that thing on his head the whole entire time. The game could be fun, but it's not. And I know it's to provide a little bit of PvP for the PvE. What the fuck am I in a PvE server if I want a PvP? Like, come on. I'm on a PvE server. I don't want to PvP. If I wanted to fucking PvP, I would go PvP on a PvP server. I don't get what you guys don't understand about this. You give us an option to flag on here. That's the option that they should have, that everybody should have. Nobody should be forced to have to PvP. And in that event, you have to PvP. You just did what you said you weren't going to do. And you did it anyway by making that event for the people who want to PvP. Why are you joining why are people so stupid? Common sense is gone from the world nowadays. Because we got people, who say they want to PvE. Who wants a little bit of PvP? Because you have a PvP server that has that is almost all PvE and has PvP zones. Just make it a PvP server. Full on PvP. PvP all the time, everywhere. And make this a full PvE server. No PvE or no PvP. Or make it a PvE server that you could flag on. But that's the only time that it can happen. Somebody else has to be flagged. What is your fucking issue? Why was that so difficult to do? People complained in New World about flagging, right? That's what they complained. There wasn't a problem. You know what New World's problem is? Their weapons. The fact that you can use magic, but the magic doesn't feel beneficial at all. It doesn't. And your content was another thing. You had to buy this. You had to buy that. You have to do this. You have to do that. Blah, blah, blah. Like, you're stifling this type of PvE. Just give us quests. Give us new areas. Give us big boss battles that everybody can go to if they wanted to. And that's how you handle it. That's how you handle it. Put the boss in the world. Not have a separate instance for the boss. And then have every world joining that, having to port to that area, right? The problem is that's your problem with your lag, is because now you're trying to have... You have a server, and you have 10 worlds on that server, just say. Because I think that's what it is. It might be even more than that. You have all these worlds on one server. All these worlds are separate from each other unless you're interacting with like a world boss, the Prime Wars. Then anybody from any world can join, up to 40 players, right? You know what the problem with that is? It's trying to connect all those players together from different worlds. Don't do that. Don't do that. Have the Prime on the world that it's supposed to be on, and that's it. If there's a Prime boss on World 4, which I'm on, you have to come here. If you're from another world, it's just I know you're having lag issues, and I guarantee it's because you're allowing all the worlds to port to this special area to fight the Prime. It should be completely separate from everything, which I think it is, programming-wise. If it's not, we got an issue, right? But it should be completely separate from everything if that's how you're going to do it. And why are we having fucking lag issues then? Why do we have these lag issues? Why are we having these desyncs that we're having in the game? I shoot a mob sometimes, and the mob doesn't die right away. It's standing there. That's a desync. That ain't got nothing to do with my connection. I'm watching my connection. I mean, my character on my other screen's doing okay, but this character desyncs from the mob. Why do we have fucking messages, right, that we can put down, the flower messages, from other servers in our world, from other worlds in our world? Why? Why is there an overlap? That's lag right there. Get rid of those fucking messages. Like, you want to cut some of your lag out? Get rid of those messages. Get rid of me having to read messages from World 7 that have nothing to do with anything that I'm doing here. Or just break up the worlds into separate servers. You are partitioning off the server into separate worlds. That's your lag issue right there. How many worlds you're stuffing on one server. That's really what it is. Because they overlap. It's dimensional. We can cross into another world. It's like this, multi-dimensional type. No, it's stupid. It's stupid. The easiest way to handle that problem is to create one world, right, that people can join. They can't cross-world. They have to join that server. There's no fucking cross-worlding. So if you're going to play with somebody, you play on that server. Like you do on Rust. You play on that server with the people that are on that server. This cross-world shit. Then we already have cross-play. So that's fine. I don't give a shit about that. That's perfectly fine. But I don't need no cross-world. I don't need people from other worlds jumping over and then we get lag issues on our world or whatever the fuck it is that's causing it. I don't need all that. You guys really got to fucking do better with the game. There's so many different things you can do to fix this. There's people who say, no, I like the world, though, because my friend's on the other world. Well, when you join a server, just join the right fucking server. Just join the server that your friend's on. Don't join just random servers. Well, then there was too many people on that server, so I went to play on another server. Or, no, you're still picking the same server. That's not how that works. It just places you in a world. I picked the server. I'm on the server. I didn't pick the world. It just put me in this world. It randomly stuck me on World 4. But let my content be for me. I just don't get it. Because then you open up the thing for exploits and all kinds of other shit. People learning how to jump between worlds to get benefits that other people don't know about. That shit is crazy. You're just... There's so much shit in the game. The season thing... Seasons are fine. I have no issue with the seasons. But do not wipe a player's progression when the season ends. Just open up new shit for the player to do. Add more quests, a new area, a new dungeon, a new boss, a new this or that. Like an expansion. I can tell you why Rust is a very popular game. Even with the progression loss and everything else. Right? It's because that's the gameplay loop. You cannot make this that gameplay loop. This is not that type of game. I know people compare this to Rust because of the building and this and that, but it's nothing like Rust. It isn't. It has similarities to the game, just like you can find similarities in Rust to WoW, which has no similarity in genre to Rust whatsoever. But there are similarities you can find. It just doesn't make any sense. Is this an MMO or is this a looter shooter? Or is this a PvP server? Or is this a PvE server? Or what are you trying to do? You have no identity right now. And I love that about your game. But those ideas that you're trying to incorporate from other genres, you're not incorporating them correctly. You're not. The seasonal thing? In The Division 2, we have seasons. But you don't get wiped. Your character is there. Now, you know what Division 2 is trying to do? Now they're trying to add some system in there for where you start off fresh or whatever with this new system that they're trying to do. Why? I still don't get it. I still don't. They must see something that nobody else does. I think you're along them same lines. You must be seeing something other people weren't seeing, because most people don't like to play the game that way. They don't. They love the game. Don't get it twisted. There's a lot of people who love this game and will defend this game tooth and nail, and I am one of them. I will play this game before I'll play any of the other games out there, because this has all the content I want. The problem is that you're going to wipe that content. And when you wipe that content, you're going to put me back in the same bullshit. Doing the same exact quests, going in the same exact style of buildings that you have in the game. These buildings that you have in the game, although you have changed a little bit since CBT3, are the exact same buildings repeatedly over and 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 over again. With scattered random loot where the building seems empty except for maybe a couple NPCs or AI that you got to fight. And the rest of the building seems empty. And there are a couple things that you got to check, like a chest that you open up or this and that. But you have cabinets all over the place. Again, we can't open them all. Should be able to open them all, even if there's nothing in there. Make that shit RNG. There might be something in it. There might not be. But you got to check it. So then you're looting. Then there's other areas that are so tightly packed with this random loot thrown all over the place. Just random shit sitting everywhere. I like opening stuff to find out if there's loot in it. I truly do. Maybe a can of soda every now and then on a countertop. But why do I find half of the shit that I find on the ground that looks like it should be on a place? Like we find a computer screen that's not on the desk. It's just laying on the floor, standing upright, mind you. But there's 1,000,001 desks sitting there that the computer screen that you can loot could be on, but it's sitting on the floor for some reason. What? A stock room that you can't open any boxes. It's just filler. That you can't touch anything. And then you have a piece of random loot on there. No containers to open. Just a piece of random loot. Like a ski shoe. I get it. Things get messy. Put the ski shoes. Make a department store that we can go into. If this was the world and there were buildings at one point. Like you go to, where is it? Matter of fact. Blackfell. Blackfell has an entire town built. Why is there not department stores? There's department stores, like your storefronts, like you have in the other town. Right? Let us go into this. Put shit in the store that makes sense for it being in the fucking store. Like, if you have a sporting goods store, of course you'll find a ski boot. Makes some sense. Why is shit just shit that don't even... A milk frother in a fucking clothing store. What? Shouldn't that be in the cafes that you have? That's where you should find a milk frother? Frother? If I could spit that word out, I'll get it out. Anyway, my mouth is dry as shit from doing all this ranting. I see the promise of the game. I do. It's very well done. I see the promise of it. What I don't see is good execution. I see a lot of content that oohs and wows people, right? That's the shiny stuff. I like shiny shit. So that's there. The cosmetics and all that other stuff. The loot boxes and all that other stuff that are out there in the world that you can get. Oh, right? My eyes light up. But the rest of it is repeatable, dry, and drab. The same buildings, the same areas, the same mobs, the same type of everything. And that is the problem. There's no originality at all in that. And of course, if something ain't broke, don't fix it. I agree. Don't fix it. It works. But you have to offer something more than just that to the community. Or you're going to lose the community. And you are losing a lot of the community that jumped into this game with these high hopes of experiencing something they never experienced before in an MMO FPS RPG looter shooter. And then now, I got quests that I can't do because I'm waiting for the area to open up. And I've done almost all my questing. So I'm not one of those guys who rush through content. And I'm still going, what do I do now? Like, I got a quest sitting there, right? But that's a level 30 quest. I am not interested in doing that right now. I want to go do the quests that advance the storyline. And your storyline, too small. Too small. Unless you have major plans on offering all new storylines and all new content in different areas. Then, okay. But if you're going to go 6 weeks, right, and then change the season, at least give us 6 weeks worth of content. Because as it stands right now, there is not 6 weeks worth of content here. There is 6 weeks worth of content if you play 1 hour a day and or 2 hours a day. And even then, you could speed through this content within 12 days by just playing that amount of time. Easily. We need the content. If you're not going to give it to us, people aren't going to play. I'm just saying, I really like the game. I really do. I like the building. I have to lose all this and redo it, right? Even I blueprinted it, but I gotta redo it. I don't want to. I don't want to lose all my shit. I like that I can move my base wherever I want to. I love that feature. Like, that's an excellent feature. One of the greatest features you got in a game is being able to move your base anywhere, anytime. As long as you have space for it and stuff like that. But we're not. I don't even know how to say it. I mean, we're not there on the content front. We're really not. We need more. There are whole areas of this continent that we're on that have nothing. You just run and run and run and run. There's nothing there. You'll see 3 pigs, and always 3 pigs together. Not 1 or 2, always 3. It's like you guys did the number 3 for every fucking thing. 3 guards always together. 3 deer. So there's a mama deer, papa deer. I mean, they overlap each other, but they literally run in 3s. 3s. There must be some significance to that number for you guys, but for me, there's no significance to that except for it's irritating as shit. 3s, 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 and then the same areas over and over again. The same farm type style, exactly the same farm type style with the exact same. It's just a copy and paste. There's no originality to the different areas. You may have a different box in that area, and that's the difference. You may have different crops in the one area than the other area, and that's the only difference. But it's identical. They're cookie cutter identical assets, and that's not a problem for some areas. But when it's over and over and over again, I mean, when I know right where to go to look for the same loot, even though it might not be the same loot, but I know where to loot from, what area I can loot from, the same exact area every time when I go into a building, that gets boring. There's no originality in that. That's boring as shit. What the hell am I doing? tell you what I'm not doing. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I mean, I spent all day breaking. That's another thing too. Like the Petro, I spent all day with that shit in there, letting it break down. And what I make is 950 Stardust. Give me a fucking break, man. One calibration at level 10. It costs about what, 5,000 of that or 6,000 for just one item in Stardust. And you have to do that for all your items. But yet you slow down this so much. So much. Takes forever. To refine fuel. You know, and then you went, and I get it, to stop the sulfur farms, and it does make sense to stop the sulfur farms. You made the requirements for the barrels, power levels, I believe 10 per, 10 watts, right? To stop people from spamming 400 barrels that used to be, what, 2 watts or some shit like that. So it makes it harder to have these acid farms. Yet you left the fucking mechanic. If you wanted to stop the acid farm, to make acid easier to get for everybody. I don't know. I don't know what you were thinking in that. Because people were still building these things. They're just finding alternate ways to do it and producing less acid. But it's still more acid than they actually need. I mean, I don't have... And acid is very important at lower levels, but not so much important after you get to level 50 and you're maxed out all your gear. You only need acid for, like, bullets and to make food and shit like that. And then that's not even a big deal. Because you don't give us enough content to waste our bullets. It just seems like you put all these mechanics in there. You're trying to balance things, but you're not really balancing them. You only increase power requirements on shit, but you can still do the exact same thing. It just takes more power now. So although you won't have, you know, like, and then you put energy links on fucking acid. That spec. What? This one. To be able to make energy link, or to make acid now, right? So you put energy links on this. You put a requirement of energy links on this. That's what you did. So now we need energy links to make acid. For what? At what point does chemistry require something called an energy link to make acid? I mean, they make acid. Like, where's the... just dumb. Just another dumb thing. But I understand it. You wanted to limit the people building, 9 million of those. Well, you did. You know how you limited it? You put a power requirement on it that there wasn't a requirement before. Yet, we have to make shit with energy links now, too. So we have to use energy links and our power to make acid. But the water farming thing, you just use power. You don't have to use energy links. Because it doesn't require energy links to make the impure acid, which you then turn into pure acid. But you do it the other way, the opposite way for us. Like, fucking... I wish when you guys were doing this that I would have been there with a baseball bat to be able to crack the dude in the head that thought of shit like that. Just to, not kill him. I don't want to kill him. But just to give him a little love tap so that he can learn not to make stupid suggestions like that again and to ruin your game. That was okay before. Because I came in with high hopes of having a little acid farm going, have my crystal farm, get my crystal spec, and then get my, what is it, crystal, acid, crystal acid and stardust, and then have stardust. I didn't care about nothing else. Bruh, get that shit out of here. Speaking of which, I'm not dealing with that. You come in here spamming fucking cheap viewers on my stream, I don't give a fuck who you are. That isn't a view for me. I don't care that you're coming to my channel at all. You can take that shit somewhere else. I don't want you spamming none of your bullshit on here. I don't want you peddling your wares on my channel. I don't want none of that shit. I have more respect for the people that come in here and say, hi, I am a developer who, or I design logos, or I do this or whatever from the door. Don't come in here talking to me, trying to seem interested in the fucking game that I'm playing when you're really only here to sell me something. Just try and sell me it so that I can either kick you out of the channel, because I don't need you to subscribe to my channel at all. I don't need you to become a member of my channel. None of that shit. If that's what you're going to do. But not you, not the people who come here who are graphic designers. I have more. But if you're coming here to sell me something like that, like viewers, you're not. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want you in my channel. You can go somewhere else and peddle that shit. Because if I can't create any content, all right. One, to be a content creator, you have to want to create content. I don't care about content. I don't. I am streaming for the sheer joy of streaming, and that is it. If you don't like my content, you don't have to watch it. I'm not making it for you. I am doing this. I am playing this video game and streaming for me. I am not interested in your suggestions, your ideas, your wants or your needs. I am interested in mine. Your wants and your needs do not help me at all to play this video game. I don't like these people. You got people, Tim the Tap Man, the shit that happened with Dr. Disrespect, that idiot, okay, that moron, right? He needs to be charged with something. Like, that man needs to go to jail for that shit. Not jail, but he needs to be charged for that shit. Well, no, maybe jail, because he knew he was talking to an underage person. Mind you, he knew he was talking to somebody underage. If he didn't know, that's something different. But when you know and you still do it, you deserve whatever you get. But you got people like Tim the Tap Man. You got people like the people that were around him, all those guys. And then you got other YouTubers, Famous and Russ, like Posty and all those other people. They don't even enjoy the games that they're playing anymore. They are only there to make money, and that's it. It is a job to them. This is not a job to me and never will be. If I get a donation, and I've had them, if I get a donation or somebody decides to give me some money, that's because they like what I'm saying or doing or whatever that shit is, God bless their heart. I appreciate it, but it is not a requirement to watch my content, because the only thing that I am doing is for me. I am not going out of my way to please anybody who watches it, because you're watching it for a reason. You're already pleased if you're watching my shit. If you're not watching my shit, I'm not going to make content for you to watch to please you, because then somebody else is not going to like that. And they're going to not watch. I want people who want to watch my channel because it's me. That's it. That's it. Bottom line. And I'm doing it for me. This is all about me. Me. All of it. And again, if I have one person watching, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. It may get that one person to play the game that I'm playing, and I like that. I'm not sponsored by Once Human, but if people come to play Once Human after seeing, the game and all that other stuff and what can be done in the game, Shit. That makes me happy because then it's one more person on the server that I can help or one more person on the server that can help me. That's how I am. And that's how I'm going to be in everything that I do. If it don't benefit me, why am I in? I don't care if it benefits you. I'm not interested in what benefits you. I'm interested in what benefits me. That's how I vote. I'm neither Republican or Democrat. I am a neutral country. I'm Switzerland, which is no longer neutral, but I'm neutral, right? I want whatever is going to make my life easier and benefit me more. Yes, I want us all to benefit from those things. And trust me, I would not vote for something that wouldn't benefit you. I am definitely voting for something that benefits everybody, but it benefits me. That's what I'm worried about. I got to live, right? No one else is paying my bills. I do that. So I have to vote for the things that are good for me, that are going to benefit me in my life. I don't interfere in other people's bullshit. So it's the same with my video gaming. I'm doing stuff for me. Don't care. Once human, get your shit together though. Let's get back to that. And let me get this fucking question going. Because I could talk while I'm questing. You know that saying chew gum or walk and chew bubble gum at the same time? That is kind of true. You should be able to do both. Again, unfortunately, this game has its flaws. The seasons are going to be it's killer. There's already people who swear that they're not going to come back after the season ends. And if there's 100,000 people saying that, more than half mean it. More than half mean it. So it's definitely something that the developers need to take notice to. And the only reason why this subject even came up and why I'm ranting like I am right now is because they are aware of it. And they just put out a questionnaire regarding what people know about the seasons, how people are interpreting the seasons, right? Like, what do they think the season? They're asking questions like, what do we take over? What are we going to be able to keep? Things like that, because there's a lot of confusion within the community about that, because it's not it's a new game, so nobody really knows. 2, it's not very well explained. It's really not. And 3, people were going, well, wait a second. Are we just going to have repeatable content then? Like, it's going to be repeatable, but not repeatable because we want to repeat it. Repeatable because we have to in order to continue to play the game. And that's what people were upset about. Right? Nobody wants to have to come here and do it all over again. The same exact thing. Over and over and over. So people were upset about it because the possibilities there to have to repeat content. That's what, again, nobody knows. That this is the problem. Nobody really knows what's going to happen next season. Even though they said there's going to be new stuff and new this and new that, are we coming back to have to go to Deadsville as our first town and then go through all that content again in the same towns in the same quests? Because if that's the case, it's going to be boring. It is. It gets old. I did 3 betas doing the exact same fucking content in all 3 betas. It got boring. So when the demo came out on Steam just before release, not too long before release, I didn't even play it. Because I was like, why am I going to play it? I started to, and I'm like, why am I doing this again just for everything to get wiped again? I might as well just wait for the game to release. And that's what I did. I wound up not playing the demo and waiting for the game to release. The demo was more or less for people who didn't get in on the betas. It was great for them, you know, and that was a lot of people. So when you talk about, they had over 11 million pre-registrations on the closed beta test 3. 11 million. More than that, actually. They had more than that. But I remember checking it at last. It was 11 something. 11 point something. So when the game came out on Steam as a free-to-play demo, excuse me, that was wonderful for those 11 million people that didn't get to play in the betas. And there was so much hype and interest for this game. But now, you have to live up to the hype and the interest. And you're falling flat with the seasonal stuff. You're going to fall flat with it. I just don't know what else to say about it, because it's just losing everything and having to restart is the problem. But you don't lose everything. I mean, I'm talking about like all the stuff you do lose. That's a lot of stuff. I like the mining. I do. I see different possibilities now that weren't there before with certain things. And I'm hoping to be able to invest something into that, you know, on my next playthrough. But there's a lot of downside, to the season, and all I know is that I don't think having to restart if all it tells me is if I have to restart my characters, you don't have enough content for the game to keep going, and you're going to recycle the content. It's going to kill the game. It's going to kill the game. I mean, for that matter, this game should have been more like Borderlands style games. You know, Borderlands has a lot of content in it, a lot of stuff, gives you hours upon hours. But at some point, there's a cutoff in Borderlands that you've done the storyline, you've gotten to the end of the storyline, and that's it. This has a storyline, but this storyline has to keep progressing. If you don't have a storyline that keeps progressing and keeps getting harder and harder as you progress, you're not going to be able to maintain your population, because recycling the content isn't going to work. It's going to hurt the game. And I'm sorry about being brutally honest about it, but that's exactly what's going to happen. If I might be able to play this, like give another playthrough if you give me the same content, but after that I'm going to start looking for a different game, and hoping a different game comes out that I can play, so that I don't have to continue to do the exact same content over and over again. Oh, I knew I shouldn't have ran into that, but I run into those all day long. I know they're right there, and I still run into that shit. I can look right at it and still walk in it. There's something with these traps. Look, not that one. I purposely avoided that because I said I do that. But yeah, I walk into traps all day long. But again, I'm digressing, going back to the same conversation. There is a lot you can do in the game. If you're interested in building, builders are going to love this game. If you're interested in building, because each season they can make new designs or keep the old one and just redecorate a different type of way. Maybe they get another decor that they didn't have in the first playthrough, and that decor is better, so they design their building a little bit differently to express or to highlight that. I could see something like that happening for builders. But if you're coming in the game thinking this is Rust, this isn't Rust. Sorry, Rust players. This is not Rust. You're not going to like the game if you like Rust. You're not going to even like it on the PvP server because the PvP servers are not full PvP. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you for anybody who's playing Rust. And I think some of the biggest complaints are coming from Rust players because they're so used to that style of play. They thought that the PvP servers would have that same concept, but they don't. And Rust has a consistent player base, like very consistent player base. I mean, Rust has one of the best building systems in games. I think how they implement their building and all is incredible. I think the devs here should have tried to contact the people over at Face Punch and asked about their building system. Still use the same, styles that you have on here because I like how the buildings look on here way better than I liked how the buildings look on Rust. Yeah, Rust is more for protection than anything else, so it's building strong bases as opposed to like aesthetically pleasing bases. Is that someone's base? Oh yeah, it is. They built walls around their base. Why? Nothing can go in there anyway and do anything. Never mind. What the hell do you build a compound for? You can't. Nothing can happen to your base. No reason to build a compound. And we get these bonuses for no natural hydration loss or food loss or whatever, but yet we still lose it. Right, so, hold on, let me see. So we got these buffs, right? Filled up, no natural energy loss. Okay, excuse me. No natural hydration, right? So we shouldn't lose food or water, but we do anyway. It's weird. And that's, how long is that buff for again? Hold on. Sorry. 20 minutes and 20 minutes. It should be for the duration of the thing that you used. Oh, hold on. What is this? What are you? I forget which one you give me, though. I just had it, and I went to crouch and hit the wrong button. That's all right. I can get it again. Are they making these a little bit more difficult? Sniper rifle mag, okay. Also, they have give props to the devs. Shit! Anyway, props to the devs. They are working on the AI in the game, and I've noticed that Rosetta, especially Rosetta, or non-melee character AI, non-melee AI, anything that shoots a weapon tries to seek cover, tries to run and hide. For the most part, the Rosettas are definitely noticeably different in their AI. than even these guys. So the devs heard the players' frustration with the AI being just... I mean, they like the content. It's just that their complaint was the AI was too easy. So they have done some AI work, and props to the devs. I got to give them props for that because they did change the AI, and it is a lot better. It's a little bit more of a fight. So you're burning through a couple more bullets. You know, it's not Division 2 worthy yet. Division 2 has some really good AI in it, I think. It's similar now, where they see cover and they hide and they try, you know, they may try to flank you. I say may because I'm, oh my God. I say may because I'm not sure if they do in this game. I don't know if they put that in there or if they're just making the appearance of them doing it. See, like, you'll see these scattered objects, right? So what is this? Old military helmet and SMG body. And that's because the raiders take over, right? So you would expect things like that. But if I find a fucking ski boot in a barista shop or whatever it is, where baristas are, a coffee shop. What the fuck is a ski boot doing in here and there's no snow anywhere? Like, there's no place that we can go where there's snow. There are snowy areas on the map, but we can't go there. So what the hell's a ski boot doing down here? Ooh, what is that? What are you? Are you the voodoo chick? I think so. You shot a rocket at me, and I've never seen that. I knew it. Okay, got it. Now, capture and deviants, higher level deviants, all require the gear that you're wearing, like your gloves. They're tied into better chance if you have gloves. There's also food that you can use to capture a higher deviant. I would recommend making at least a couple of those and keeping them in your inventory, because if you come across a level 5 deviant and then you pop that, your chances increase of capturing it. What I think should happen in that situation to make that even more enjoyable is that you see how when I went to first capture it, I didn't successfully do it, and it went to another area for me to capture. That didn't do anything. It's still a level 3. If you don't successfully capture the level 3, right, it should lower to level 2. And then to a simple level 1. That'll make it so that you turn around and you invest in bettering your ability, and also that potion more valuable, because then you don't want to lose. You know, if you find a level 5, you don't want to drop it down to level 4. You found a level 5. Why wouldn't you? Yeah. Hey, what do you know? But again, I think because this has so much in the game, has so much potential for a great game, that because it has so much, the small details, the little things, the common sense things have slipped away. Like you're not as aware about things like that. Like that would give some level of suspense to trying to capture a deviant if the deviant's level drops if you fail. Now, the only level of suspense here is if you don't get up to 100% before 4 times trying to capture it, and then the deviant goes away. What? No. Make the non-capture be a loss in level, so that people invest in them potions. Wow. rocket launchers. That's something new. They weren't shooting rocket launchers yesterday at me. So this is something they just put in with that patch, probably. Oh,
Come on, guys. We got it.
see him holding and then see him trying to see cover. The AI didn't used to do that. You should just stand there. So they've improved the AI. Ski shoes. Yeah. There we go. So that's a 3-2. This is a 1-1. I lost a capture on a 5-5, and I was pissed. Because 5-5 is the best you can get, and I was only like level 30 when I came across it. I didn't have high enough gloves, but I attempted to do it anyway. Because why not? It's literally RNG on that too. It shows a percentage, but that has nothing to do with it really. I don't think there's anything based off of that. I think it's there for show more or less. But it was. I was like, oh man, I didn't get it. I was so angry at myself. Their collision detection in the game needs some work. That's also something else that they need to be actively fixing. I think they tried to do a quick fix for the lagging issues by changing the render scale, the rendering, like render distance, so that you can only see things. It really messed up the game because when you see a bunch of nodes just like popping in, yet it's not really like it's far away. It's maybe 200 meters away. That looks like shit, to be honest with you. I have my render all the way up, and it doesn't matter. Because it's render scale, not render distance. They have a set render distance in the game that they changed, and it just made it look like shit. I can get back to an area that's heavily populated with nodes. I'll show you what I'm talking about. It does. It looks bad.
I'm gonna blow you sky high. Someone getting tired of living.
I ain't gonna lie, that was a jump scare for me. I didn't realize he was like right there. I mean, most of the lag issues that I think people are having are graphical, graphical lag. And I think they tried to, like I said, change that through their rendering distance. But if you got a system that can do that, why are you limiting mine? Like, let me adjust it to what my system can handle. If somebody else's system can't handle that, they need to get a better system. I mean, I'm not this is not bragging. This is not saying, I don't have the best system in the fucking world, but I spent almost $6,000 on this system, and it is a good system. Like a really good system. RTX 4090. I had 80 gigs of RAM in here, but I took out the other two little 8 megabytes or the 8 gigabyte sticks because and reverted it back down to 64 because for some reason BIOSes like to lock you into a lower megahertz then, so you get only 2,000 instead of the 5,800 or 5,900 that I paid for. And that has something to do with using all 4 slots on the motherboard. Very common for some reason, even though it's the exact same type of RAM. Then I had people try to tell me, oh, well, you can't use different size RAM. Yes, you can. As long as it's, yes, you can. Absolutely 100% can, with no issues. As long as it's the same speed and the same everything else, the amount of RAM doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't have anything to do with it. There's something on a BIOS that stops you from going into your. There's a profile that you can XMP on this BIOS that if I use all 4 slots, no matter if they're all the same type of RAM, if I use all 4 slots, it lowers my RAM speed. It's 5,200. I got 5,200 in here, I believe, or 6,000 maybe. Anyway, it lowers it down, and it by default it drops down to 2,000. If I go in then to change that XMP profile, it voids my warranty on the system because I have to activate the overclocking feature then on the system, which it has. It has that feature that I can activate, but if I activate that, I void the warranty. Now you tell me. That's another little thing that computer companies do when they build gaming systems is they will lock something like that and then say they know that even though they put in that higher speed RAM, it's only good for 2 slots, right? And then they lock it if you use all 4 slots. And then they'll void it if you have to change the XMP profile because they know the system shouldn't be running that to begin with. So why do you make the system to run that type of RAM and then lock it to only 2 slots? But you give me 4 slots, but you lock. You fucking retarded is what it is. It's just a thing they do. I'm sure if I took it to somebody who does computers all day long, they can make it work or whatnot. But I wasn't going through the hassle. Really, he would just clipped right through the window. Anyway, I wasn't going through the hassle. I tried it a couple times. I read all the. I couldn't get it to work properly. No matter what I did. So I just took out the other 2 sticks and then it read the correct speed. It allowed me to change my speed to what it was supposed to be. Crazy. Crazy. But why would you do that anyway? Because the RAM that comes with it, they put in whatever it is, 5,200, 6,000, whatever it was. They put that RAM in and then stifle that RAM even. I had to change the speed. But they'll stifle the RAM. Their own RAM that they put in. It won't read 5,200. It'll read whatever they set it to. Like 4,000 or whatever. It's crazy. Crazy. I don't know, man. I bet you about a lot of stuff, but it's all stuff that actually matters and makes sense. It's just little things that I see companies do, video game companies do, things like that. Like, I would have rather them not made this game free, right? Made it a give me a monthly subscription fee on it, right? And give us all the content. Give us a monthly, give us all the content. Skins you can make extra, but give us a monthly. Give us all the content. You know, don't make us jump through hoops. You'll get your money every month from the players who enjoy the game. You know, WoW still has a monthly subscription service, and they make plenty of money still with that game. Not as much as they did when it was at its most popular, but they made really bad decisions in some of their expansions that messed everything else up. Yeah, so they hurt themselves instead of listening. They didn't really listen to their viewership. What they do is they see other gaming companies. This is what most gaming companies do. They'll see a gaming company doing well, and they'll go, well, what is making them do so well? What is it about that game that people like? And then the other game will try and copy that, but they'll fuck it up somehow. Or they'll try some dirty tactic with it that doesn't work, and then people will be like, nope, shit game. I'm not playing it. And that happens all the time. Trying to remember the guy with the long hair that's got the real deep voice, and he used to be a computer programmer for Blizzard. And his dad's one of the major. Was one of the major programmers for WoW. I forget his name. Anyway, I like how he explains things just like I basically am, like straight up front. He'll tell people like, no, that's not how it works. And, yeah. Or he'll notice something that a game developer is doing that he can point to and say, no, the game developer is using these tactics that, don't work. They're for a reason. They're using it to get more money or whatever it is. He'll point that shit out. Yeah. When people start questioning things. And I like how he does that. So I try to do the same thing. I'll see things that developers like this game is set to go pay to win. Don't think it's not. It is. A couple small changes and this game goes pay to win like that. Right? They have promised not to do that, but the systems are in place for that. If you're not going to do that, right? If you're not going to do that, then why have these systems in place? Why have them in place?
Is someone there?
I'm not going to build a partial garage in a home build. Like I'll build the rest of the house and then build a partial garage that I may use in the future. Right? There's no sense in it. Costs more money. It's extra material. Causes problems. People are looking like, what the fuck is this? Right? So why build a game that has these pay-to-win systems in it, but are not active at the moment? Because you got them doing something else that isn't pay-to-win, but it would only take you a little bit of time to make those pay-to-win. So you still have the vending machine in the game, or not the vending machine, the video game machine, the gotcha Mr. Wish thing in the game. And the system is still there where you can start to charge for Star Crown. Right? Make it buyable. Star Crown being the premium currency used, once again, to get all your weapons and your best armors. You have to use Star Crown. You created a system in which to get free Star Crown, but not enough to get everything you need. And even still, you'd have to compete in every prime and everything else in order to get that, right? But you created a system within the prime that kind of locks certain people out. We've talked about it earlier, where if you're new to if somebody comes to the game now, no one's doing the easy primes. So now you have this. Now you have this. Hold on, somebody's doing Ignis. And Ignis is hard, I believe. Easiest way to do that is this. Ignis is hard. Yep. So the guy's like, get the Ignis. Now he's doing hard. He's doing these hard ones. Not doing the easy ones, doing the hard ones. So again, I was level 30 when I got to the hard. I was doing hard ones at level 30. But I couldn't ever beat the guys who were level 50 already because they just did more damage than me, right? So they would always rank top, and I would always... I got close. I got like 800 at one time, but you got to get 1,000. And it didn't matter what I did. I just didn't get it. And I wasn't getting it. Another guy that I gamed with called Zero, he's level 50 and was level 50 during these events and still couldn't get it. So he couldn't join the hard ones. He finally got it, You know, he kept trying until he got it. But I wasn't on when they were doing these primes, these easy primes. So I missed out on it. And then I just gave up and said, fuck it, I'm not going to do it. So what I'm saying is you got this currency locked behind stuff. They know this already. They said they did it to stop people from AFKing, but you can simply just put a timer on a person's character if they're not shooting. You know, say if they're not shooting in a certain amount of time, if they're not moving and they're just standing there, right? Because you can then use a macro to make your character move, but you're not going to make a macro to make your character shoot because the mob moves and there's no way that I know of, unless you're cheating, to have something, you know, lock onto the character and make your character shoot and all this. So that's a cheat then at that point. So you're not going to be able to do that, which is good. So you're limited, you know. And then you have the timer countdown. If they're not shooting and they're not doing damage and they're not doing whatever, they eventually get kicked out of the war. I mean, how hard is it? No. What you did is then say, oh, you know what? We're going to take care of it by saying you have to have a certain... Now there's a point system. Now, no matter if you're level 50 or not, if you don't have a good build and there's, 20 guys there? I don't even know how many 1,000 points you can get. I think it's only like 10 or whatever it is, something like that. Now you got 30 people that might be able to do damage, all help you take down this prime to not be able to advance and have to redo it all over again in order to advance. Yet they helped you. And you wouldn't have been able to do it yourself had these people not helped you. That's what I'm saying. You're punishing people for actually participating in a prime. So it's a fucking... It's a bad system. Bad. Horrible. I keep walking away from this quest. Horrible system. It wasn't like that before. They made it like that. And for the life of me, I can't understand why. I think I'm supposed to come down after that. Yeah, I am.
What was that sound? Did you call my name? Is it just me, or did you see a little girl around the corner there?
See that moving around? What the hell is that?
Run! Something's coming after us. Do you know where we are now? Keep running. Don't let that thing catch us.
Shut
Don't
up.
confront it head on. Stay away from it. Then look for opportunities to fight back.
To fight
Don't
back
stop.
where?
Keep going.
There's no opportunity to fight back. What are you talking about? Now, what I'm hoping is everything just respawned down here when I did that.
did all the running, but I feel like I'm out of breath myself. Anyway, we got the job done. Now let's get out of this creepy place already.
Alright, now what am I doing? Story of the Three Little Pigs. This. Leave him alone. Fruit Loop. Look, see right there, they're doing the prime on hard, already complaining about lag. This is not an issue with their system either when it comes to that. This is an issue everyone has. I competed in a Prime War that was so damn laggy that we couldn't, you could do nothing, literally nothing. You would try and move. You would try and move and you would get stuck while you were trying to move. You would just stand there. You'd move maybe 2 feet and then that was it. You were just there. So in real time, you don't know what's happening because you can't. Yeah, but we'll never get up this, so why would you show this as an option? Maybe we will get up this. It's like reminds me of Rust. Might as well do this while I'm here. See, there's an issue with walking up. See, we didn't have this issue before. We could walk and zoom, but now there's an issue when anything that you go on an incline or stairs, you can't walk up. All they got to do is play their fucking game and they'll realize it. Don't even have to wait for other players to play it. All they got to do is play it. Too far away. Who's shooting? Their sound direction needs some work too. Like their I don't even know what to call it, but directional sound. Their directional sound needs some work.
Did you hear that?
The hell are you shooting at, dude? Well, NPCs or the AI must have the same issue that we have with shooting behind cover, which is even though your crosshairs might be on the enemy, if you're behind cover, you'll hit. See, like right now, somebody was right there, I'd wind up hitting right here. Problem with third-person game. You're not shooting where your actually crosshairs are. Loot. I love loot.
My favorite mayfly. I have quite the interesting bounty for you, if you're interested.
Excuse me. Drinking coffee and trying to click on my computer.
Created a maniac, if you can believe it. Sergeant Vance was trained by Rosetta as an elite sniper, and he clearly put his skills to good use. Even I was shocked when I received the report. Over 20 souls taken by this madman's gun. After investigating, I discovered that he's guilty of all charges. It's Jim Chandler, an old Union sheriff. He realized that a number of travelers were vanishing out in the...
Yeah. All right. Enough of this. I'll be here all day if I do this.
Alas.
Actually, I rather miss Jim Chandler. When he was still alive, he'd come and discuss issues of law, morality, justice, all those sorts of things with me.
Our talks really touched me and helped me improve my operations. He truly was not just a friend, but a teacher. It's a pity that the old sheriff was so honest. He had no real money left, and could only leave me these batteries for the bounty, a rather low price for a killer from Rosetta. But for Sheriff Chandler, I decided to make an exception.
He's under hive. He said carry him. I can't carry. I'm not going to be able to carry you. I don't know what he's talking about. I ain't going to be able to carry him. Not in hard mode. He can run through here if he wants to. I'm grabbing everything. I'm not losing my stuff, man. I want all my items. See, I'm greedy like this. I don't like running through silos where I didn't grab everything. Like if we do it again, I don't mind just sitting there, you know, running through it. I won't worry about picking up stuff, but I'm definitely picking up everything initially. He's like, carry him. I ain't got to carry. He's already killed everything almost. He just killed everything. That's like he said. He carry it. I know I do more damage than he does, right? Because every time we team up and we're killing the same thing, I always out damage him. But he's not weak at all. So he's playing that weak role, but he's not weak. He can run through this by himself easy. Now, you see how much damage he did? Because he was like running in front of me and killing everybody. And that's the thing you go through when you do these types of things. If you're gonna... He broke his legs. Now, he's running. You see what he did? He does that because he wants the points, right? So he has no choice but to run ahead, because if he doesn't run ahead, I'm going to keep killing things, because he missed out because he broke his legs. This is how people think in this game. And it's really is bad. Now you'll notice the difference in damage when I get to where I need to be, right? You'll see it. Damn, I couldn't do shit. Fucking kept hiding behind a computer screen. But you'll notice a big difference in the damage now. See the difference? Now that's the difference between when I start firing and when he's just killing things. Because if you get to it first, he doesn't do more damage than you. Good guy, but like that doesn't really show anything. Let him know I need to complete this quest.
Come here, Mayfly. Yes, if you were a... That's all.
As you wish. A sheriff's when sheriff it seems the sheriff.
Now let's see what we got. So anyway, the thing is if you're killing all the mobs in the place, your damage is always going to be higher. So telling good damage between two characters running through a silo is not a great comparison. That damage is not indicative of your damage per se, because if somebody's ahead of you, they're always going to have higher damage because they're killing everything before you can even get to it. So you're not contributing to the damage pool. The best way to check that is to do a boss fight and then just everybody shooting at the same boss, and the damage is calculated through there. Now, anybody who has mods that increase their bullet count, things like that, will probably do slightly higher damage in situations like that as long as they're built correctly, because they're shooting more. You know, they don't have to reload as often. If you have a faster reload thing, you're doing more damage. Those types of things will get you a lot more damage out of it. But it's really not the best way to in that sense. Only a world boss would you be able to tell damage inputs if people were shooting at the same time. Other than that, there's a dummy that you can use. You can shoot the dummy. You can see what your DPS is, and then you can compare that to other people. There's also like weak spots, or proc explosions, or proc shrapnel, or proc this, or proc that, and those are also mitigating damage. Not mitigating damage types that are included into it. So if you proc your skills more, you're going to do more damage in the long run. And that's the thing with Once Human is you can make a really strong build. You can have a build that procs more on your damage skill, because your damage skill usually is multiplied by psi and then times, by 400% or whatever it is, right? So you get a 400% or 500% or 600% boost in damage, whether you have your pet out and whether you're traded for that. There's a lot of different damage factors in this game that apply. If you're talking just single target, just your gun against somebody else's gun with nothing proccing and all that other stuff, then everybody's on a level playing field at that point. It becomes noticeable when somebody is either proccing, triggering their effect more, or doing something that, happens more often within their skill set. Having a pet out, drinking, eating food that boosts your damage, things like that. They all count towards your damage count. And that's why people get stronger and stronger and stronger. Yeah, because people get into their builds. That's the fear that I have with this stuff and the seasons. Is, you're playing with builds, you're limiting builds, you're stifling builds, and it's especially in the sense of where you're also stifling progression, because I guess, as I talked about earlier, not being able to pick your expertises and them being RNG, you can get shitty rolls for an entire season. Well, that sucks for you as a player, and there's nothing you can do about that. So you're stuck with those shitty rolls, and you're going to have a bad gaming experience because of it, and it might turn you off. Allow us to set our builds up and pick our builds so that meta builds wind up being produced, and people have access to those meta builds and can build towards those. If somebody builds a meta build, you can post it, show what your build is, and then people can progress towards that There were builds like that in the past, but it was always based off of RNG. If you don't, it's hard to make a build in this game because if you don't have the exact same stuff or get the exact same stuff the other guy gets, your build might not be as effective. I know I have stuff on this character that my build video that I was following didn't have, right? But my character is good enough and strong enough to do all the content in the game. Me being the #1 damage dealer on the server does not matter to me at all. I have no ego, so I don't need to be the best. I'm better than most. Than 90% of the players on the server, I can out damage them without a doubt. You know, the other 10%, they might proc something or whatever. I don't always use my pet at the right time too, so I'm losing damage there. I'm losing damage in other areas, but I like the way my character's set up. This character doesn't take a lot of damage. It's damage because I'm wearing blue armor on some of it to get some of the benefit that I need from the shrapnel build, and I don't mind that, right? I don't mind it. But having purple gear would give me access to another line of skills and give me even more damage. And there's ways to do that. I mean, there's other armor sets that I can be wearing, I think. Right now, this is where I'm geared. I got 2 pieces of scout on. I could probably change these for something else. But I like the weapon damage. You get an 8% boost to weapon damage. So, and that's why I run it. I could... Let me see. That'll give me elemental. I'm shrapnel, so I don't get elemental damage. But if you look, it's only 8% right there, and it's only 2 pieces. But it gives you more psi intensity. See, 74 as opposed to 83. These are where the limitations come in at. This is what I'm running right now. Let me see, what other set can I run? This doesn't really do anything. This is more for a tank build. What am I running again? Boots and what? Boots and pants. Okay, so let's go back in here and go to pants and see what else I could run. That would only give me movement speed, pants wise here. That's a bounce. So no on that. No on this. No on that. See, this is it. This is where everything gets screwed up at. And it does. It all gets status damage reduction right there. Element day. So this is for blast. Magazine capacity. I mean, that's for, I think, LMG build. You can use that for an LMG build. It would work. Reload speed. Maybe being able to reload a little bit faster. You get a little bit more DPS, but I lose 8% weapon damage. Bounce. This wouldn't be nice, having a savior set. The pants for it at least. And getting to that second thing where when your HP is above 70% weapon and status damages. But there's no guarantee that I'm going to be above 70%. The weak spot damage, maybe, but shrapnel builds that I'm building don't require weak spot. So crit rate, this would be good. Magazine capacity, but again, very limited in what I could wear. Right, very limited, and that's the problem with the game. You have to pick stuff like this, and then boots, right? So boots. Fortress Warfare. Again, we're back into these sets, which don't really... I mean, again, very limited. Very limited. Get more psi. But shrapnel is not elemental damage, so I don't even think psi really helps a shrapnel build. Trigger chance might, getting stuff with trigger chance on it might help better. Getting the mods that provide trigger chance so that you trigger shrapnel more. These are your damage types. Unstable bomber was what I was looking to talk about. This is bounce, and then your shrapnel mods, which right now I have weapon damage. I could probably, there might be one in here that's better. Damage against normal enemies, damage against great ones. I went with that because of that right there. This one gives you magazine capacity, but less weapon damage, right? Crit damage, which is something that I need also, but if this had weapon damage on it, it would be perfect. Not weak spot, that sucks. So if I can get a crit and a weapon damage increase, so I got weak spot. Yeah, none of these are really that good. I mean, see, here I get a crit. This is weak spot. Man, if I can get a crit and weapon damage one. I don't even think you can get that, to be honest with you. So I got weapon damage on here. Weapon damage reduction means I take less damage. But I got an increase to normal enemies, which you fight a lot, and the great ones. I could try enhancing some of these. Damage against great ones. Come on, give me something. No, come on, give me something good. I mean that's not bad, but that's not great. Alright, I didn't get any increases in the weapon damage, which is what I was hoping for, but I don't mind the great ones. That's actually pretty good for me. Weapon damage. Now that's the one I have on my other weapon. I don't even need to have that on there anymore. I can use a higher level. There we go. I can go crit damage on this one. And I get a reload. Greater magazine on this. Weapon damage against elites. I'll go with this one. And then we're just going to up this. Okay, I got a nice little crit one off of that. I gotta go in and delete some mods, to be honest with you. I have way too many mods and they need to be broken down. Let me go back to base and do this real quick. Oh no, wait, hold on. Yep, no, that's done. Is this done? Yeah. So this is where you start to separate, because if you get a good mod, shit, and you up the damage on that mod and you get some good RNG off of that mod, so before I do this, let me go through and make sure that I have the best mods that I can have on my stuff right now. So this, I'm going for Fateful Strike, right? It's a 5-on-5. It's 5/5. This does crit damage. Elemental, and I don't need elemental, but I have it anyway on here for some reason. But it's just mainly for the crit damage, to increase crit damage. So I'm stuck with the elemental right now. This this gives me a straight 10% and gives me 30% crit damage. This would give me 10% and 20% only for 2 seconds. So it's not an effective. Yeah. If I was a weak spot build, I'd probably go something like this, but I'm not. That's good for a fire build, actually. So Fateful Strike seems like the only one that really benefits us. The elemental shit doesn't do anything for us, so. Still the only shrapnel mod that I got. That's crazy. So, and then here we go. Almost all of your chest mods are about HP and shit like that. Like, that's just crazy when you throw one of these on and you get a weapon damage boost and you get a crit damage boost right there of crit damage and crit rate and crit damage. Like that, the boost off of the blue mods is just insane. So you don't need to go into purple or gold because they really don't have anything very well unless you're like you're set up for healing and stuff like that. If you're set up for healing, yeah. But I'm set up for damage, so that mod counts. And, you know, there's not much I can do about it. This is weapon, so I went weapon on that. And I could go weapon crit, but weapon was better because I needed to up my weapon damage. So, and this had damage against elite, so once again, something that benefits me more than others. See, and I'm not weak spot, so gold doesn't make any sense. And then all these other ones are just weird. Every 5 bullets consumed in the magazine grants 4% weapon damage, capped at 20%. I mean, I could run one of these. It can't be status damage, though. Magazine capacity would be okay. HP would be okay. Because for every 5, you're getting more weapon damage. Or that's weak spot damage. Never mind. I thought it said weapon damage. I read it too fast. I mean, I can also try this with the crit damage. But that takes away 11% weapon damage for me to get just crit damage. So I would have to... Yeah, so my crit... I would have to increase crit chance even more in order for that to proc more and for it to be worth something. This is a crit amplifier already that I put in, so... It wasn't the best one, but it was what I had. And again, gives me a little bit faster reload speed. I put this in because of the ability to get to refill my mag if there are 2 kills. It's not. This is not registering properly. It's like on the 3rd kill I get it. I don't know what that is. It's supposed to be 100%, but it might. I'm not getting 100% refill. Or I'm just not noticing it. One or the other. So, right now I got the best stuff on that I couldn't have on my weapons. So I'm just going to delete everything that's blue. Except for the 2. And I don't think it'll let me delete that anyway. Delete greens and blues. And that's all I have. So a ton of purples though. Oh well, see ya. None of those purples mattered, so. And then let's get into my legendaries because none of these actually matter now either. Since I can't use any of them. And I'm not using any of them anyway. So I might as well get all that. Don't plan on changing my build, so I don't need them. And I can always hunt them in next season, so it's not a big deal. So now I can go in to my gear. Let me go repair everything first. Can't repair that, that's right. Go back into mods. I might as well do some of this while I'm here not doing anything. Here. I think I maxed this out. Yep, 5 of 5. 3 of 5. What? I don't want all mods. I just want to... Oh. Never mind. Again, see, I get some shitty ass pulls on stuff, man. Just... That's 5 of 5. That's 5 of 5. That's 5 of 5. When did I do those? See, it's RNG to... Ooh, I got crit damage on that, though. I like that. Show me the money, honey. And more damage, great ones. You can't... Man, it would have been nice to get all crit, though, off of that. You suck. Is that locked? Yeah, it's 5 of 5 now. Yeah, that gets maxed out. But that's the only thing about using these little mods. You can't really... I knew it was going to go damage against elites. It's just not in my cards, man. It's just not in my cards. Look at that thing. Oh my god. The hell? Oh man. Oh, it does crit rate too? Look at that. Where's the blueprint for this damn thing? Huh? I just deleted all my mods, but I think that would have been cool. I'm keeping that just to keep it. I'm going to put it up on the board. Because it's a rare find. I haven't been able to get one of those since playing the game, so... I'm really low on ammo too, ain't I? Alright. Yeah, 969 ammo. That's not good. Oh, no. Cancel that shit. Oh, no. Cancel that shit too. What the fuck am I doing? Why was I doing that anyway? Jesus. I'm getting choppy animations now, and I don't know why. See that? That was just really bad. I haven't really dedicated any time to actually farming either, like I used to do on my other when I played in the betas. I used to farm a lot before I would do anything else. Like I would make sure I had a box of steel and a box of copper and a box of this and a box of that, and I just haven't been doing it. My other base, oh, my little dock I got going on over there. If we get a boat or even a paddle canoe or something like that that we can just go on and then fish, Like go out into the water and fish. That would be pretty cool. Like, give us something that we can go out in the ocean, right? And we can fish out there. And just something different. That's all. Why is he doing that? What just came out of here? Grenades, I think. No, it definitely wasn't that. So what came out of here? Gas, maybe? No, it wasn't gas either. Barrel of oil. Oh, premium came out. Okay. No, but that wouldn't show there anyway. Premium goes here, doesn't it? I'm pretty sure it does. Yeah, that didn't come out. So what the fuck came out that was here? So sugar is the only thing limiting me from, and some saffron. I gotta make this stuff or it's all gonna go bad.
Gulu gulu. Gulu gulu. Let's see what I want. What was it I needed for? I would like to plant these two.
Saffron. There we go. Alright, and then I want to plant some beets, definitely.